So, hi everyone. Hope you're enjoying your day wherever you are. I thought I would give you the why. Why am I growing a food forest here in eastern Spain? It's going to be a lot of noise because it's a lot of birds and creatures putting themselves to bed because it's getting towards the end of the night. So, the reason is that I'm a member of the group called Permuse.com, which is an American site with hundreds, thousands of permaculturalists all over the world on these forums. And a common question that's often asked is, what would you eat in a zombie apocalypse? Well, I think that's a fabulous question. And I'd often just kind of mused about it, thought about it, but not really very much. And then 2020 happened, and we were here in Spain locked down brutally. We weren't even allowed to go out for a walk. It was bizarre, really. There were armed guards on the corners of streets. There were police blockades with what are those things across the road? Stingers, is it? With the spikes on to stop people from escaping. I don't know what we were going to do, but anyway, you weren't allowed to go to a supermarket that was outside of your local village. You weren't allowed to go anywhere, really. And it suddenly made me realize, oh, maybe this is the zombie apocalypse. I mean, actually, there weren't any zombies that I saw. So let's put that to rest. But the idea that potentially within days we could be alienated from our entire community, we could be locked down so that we were unable to go anywhere. How would we survive if that happened on a longer term basis? So that's a pretty apocalyptic thing to be thinking about. And actually, I don't now think of it in those terms. This is a great idea to be able to feed ourselves from our garden, our space outside. And when I say our, I recognize that we also share this with a myriad of creatures, and it's their home too. And so we're also feeding a large biodiversity of creatures, animals, all sorts, many that I don't even know are here, I'm sure. So that's where it all started. And I had a field. It was empty other than this enormous carob tree. There's a pomegranate at the end of the garden there. And two orange trees that I was super excited about. It turns out that actually they're disgusting. Maybe they're for marmalade, I don't know. But not a lot really to go on. So, faced with this blank canvas, I read up on it and decided that it was going to be full of fruit and vegetables for us to eat. So I planted fruit trees, 1, 2, 3. In fact, they're still here. Except they're about the 4th iteration for some of them, because it turns out that wasn't the best way to go about it. Not when we have summer heat of days and days of in the 40-degree mark, 40 degrees Celsius, and in the winter we have frost. So it can be challenging. 3 years of drought, severe drought. And then yesterday, day before yesterday, I had to use plant sources to walk to my gate to keep my feet from getting wet because we had so much water. So there are lots of different weather challenges, climate challenges, and they're changing all the time. So basically this channel is about how I'm approaching those challenges in zone 9 or 10, how I'm growing food, and that takes all forms, lots of different sorts of foods, herbs, fruits, vegetables, mainly perennials. And I'd love you to come along for the ride to find out what I'm doing. I'd like to learn from you what you're doing in similar circumstances. I already follow dozens and dozens of permaculture people and syntropic agriculture and regenerative agriculture. I did a vegan PDC, permaculture design certificate, learned a massive amount from that. So thanks, Graham Burnett, for that. And yeah, that's what this channel's for us to develop our food forests together, so that when we have a zombie apocalypse, if that ever happens, we'll have plenty to eat. We won't be asking that question. So tell me what you'd like to see in the comments and I'll get to it. Bye.